Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
One of the biggest wrestling news stories of 2020 was that surrounding WWE's new edict through the company, banning the use of third-party platforms such as Twitch and Cameo among its talent without approval. This obviously angered many wrestlers and staff backstage, even resulting in Zelina Vega being released from the company without being granted a meeting with Vince McMahon beforehand, when she refused to adhere to this new edict. And even though it's been 2 months since her release, the wound is still relatively fresh for those still under WWE's employ, and it seems it may have been reopened slightly by the actions of one Bruce Prichard. Despite talent having their third-party accounts seized, Vince McMahon's right-hand man and executive director of Raw and SmackDown, Bruce Prichard, did not fall into the same category, with his Something to Wrestle podcast not only being allowed to continue, but also being heavily promoted on the WWE network. And according to Ringside News, so take this with a pinch of salt, this fact was once again highlighted as Prichard reportedly gifted the WWE writing team with Amazon gift cards for Christmas. That seems nice enough on the surface, but he packaged the gift card inside a Something to Wrestle Christmas card, complete with the branding and podcast logo. This was reportedly seen as inappropriate by the writing staff, not only promoting Bruce's work outside of WWE, but also highlighting the fact that he was able to keep his outside content while others very recently weren't. Their source reportedly said of the situation, "He sends something promoting his outside venture when people like Zelina were fired for outside ventures, and he's our leader? Yeah, promoting your outside projects outside of work is really disrespectful. Also, while you're here, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Warcaster, for more Dungeons & Dragons content." And speaking of Christmas, it's the most wonderful time of the wrestling year as we gear up for the road to WrestleMania with the Royal Rumble less than 2 weeks away. The show will feature young up-and-comer Goldberg challenging Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, while fans have been clamoring for Big E to win the actual Rumble match itself. Big E recently appeared on Busted Open Radio, where he discussed the new main roster call-ups getting more opportunities than those who've been grinding for years. A lot of times what you'll see, and I won't name names, you'll see talent who are called up and brought in, and they're almost given too much too soon. Not that they don't have the ability, but as a babyface especially, I don't feel like I'm with you if you've been on the main roster 2 weeks and you already got a world title shot. And when asked if he thinks he can main event WrestleMania this year, Big E responded with, "You know how it is, they will go through a list of part-timers of the big names and big money guys who work once a year. They'll go through that list, and if they can't get all those guys booked for that spot at WrestleMania, then it's like, okay, who actually works here on a weekly basis and has been grinding, and now maybe we give him an opportunity." We're coming up to the 2-year anniversary of Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 35, alongside both Big E and Xavier Woods, as someone who has in fact been grinding for years. Whether we'll see another magical moment like that as Big E ascends to the top of the mountain remains to be seen, but I, for one, would love that. Something that people really didn't love in 2020 though was Retribution, but now it's been revealed why one of their members was unceremoniously removed. When Retribution finally unmasked on Raw, revealing their smaller masks underneath, they had 5 members. Dominik Dijakovic now going by T-Bar, Dio Maddin now going by Mace, Shane Thorne now going by Slapjack, Mia Yim now going by Reckoning, and Mercedes Martinez, who was never officially named but was earmarked as Retaliation. After a couple of weeks though, Martinez was quietly removed from the group and stopped appearing with them altogether, reappearing on NXT in December, attacking Io Shirai. The reason for this departure wasn't known until now, however Martinez herself has opened up about the move, speaking to PW Insider, and as it turns out, she just really didn't want to do it. "I was given an opportunity, and I took the opportunity not knowing what the outcome would be. You got to make the best with anything you can, but I think when that opportunity came, it just wasn't for me. When you hit the pinnacle of your career, as I did, hitting 20 years, you want to make the most of your career and make it part of a legacy. It's kind of one of those things where it's, this is where Mercedes is, but maybe it doesn't fit the mold, doesn't fit her career. It was no hard feelings, I just think we both had 2 different plans. I wanted one thing to go one way, and they had a different outlook. I wish them success, to all those part of the group, and I wish them the best." I mean, I think that was a really long way of just saying, I'ma head out. In all seriousness though, it seems NXT would be a much better fit for Martinez, and she looks to be fighting Shirai for the NXT Women's title sooner rather than later. But shockingly enough, in WWE, laughing at people's masks isn't just a 2020 thing, as everyone did it on this Monday's episode of Raw, when Randy Orton revealed his luchador gimp mask to hide his burns from Alexa Bliss's fireball. He failed his dexterity saving throw. For more excellent Dungeons & Dragons content like that, subscribe to Warcaster. But as it turns out, it's not just the fans that were laughing at Orton, as Roman Reigns responded to WWE's Instagram post of Orton's new getup with a very simple, crying with laughter emoji. This is not the first time the two have mocked each other's new appearance, with Orton being among those who pointed out Reigns' sparkly new teeth upon his return to the company at SummerSlam last year, because he's a smartass. But in the lead to WrestleMania, speculation is still high that we could be getting The Rock versus Roman Reigns at the show itself, which would be the culmination of the Tribal Chief storyline, leaning on their real-life family ties. However, with this year's WrestleMania originally scheduled for Los Angeles, but moving to the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, plans may have to be pushed back. And indeed, according to Reigns in an interview with Ryan Satin of Fox Sports, that match is still very much on the table at WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood. The table that Reigns is sitting at the head of course. We'll go to Hollywood for WrestleMania 39, and I think it just makes sense. He's the biggest box office attraction for the big screen, so to be able to take that and match it up with the biggest box office attraction in sports entertainment, I think some magic would be made. If the right story is told, Reigns versus Rock, with all of their history in and out of the company, could be one of the best stories of the last decade, and the two could definitely put on a worthy match at WrestleMania. And now it's time for everything else in wrestling news. Stephanie McMahon confirmed that WWE is hoping for fans to be in attendance for WrestleMania 37 in an interview with TMZ. They're still currently working out the logistics and safety precautions, but the hope is to have some sort of fan attendance for the big show. Not that one. SmackDown's viewership was up on this past week's really solid episode, scoring a 2.262 million viewership, up from the previous week's 2.120 million. They deserve it. It was a really good show. But one thing that will often be stated by jaded fans is that Raw moving to 3 hours has harmed the show, and it seems that Tony Khan will not be making the same mistake with AEW, as he revealed in an appearance on Renee Paquette's Oral Sessions podcast. Yes, it will not be a third hour of Dynamite, and it will not be on Wednesday, but it will be a third hour with Warner Media. While the fans have been calling the new cross-company super faction of Kenny Omega, Don Callis, the Young Bucks, and Gallows and Anderson a Bullet Club, they've never officially been called that due to New Japan owning the name, even with Omega wearing a Bullet Club t-shirt at Hard to Kill. However, AEW have now filed to trademark Too Sweet for merchandising purposes, though it would be wise not to get your hopes up for this one, as this will be the third wrestling company to try and trademark either the hand symbol or the phrase, as WWE and Pro Wrestling Tees have also had trademarks rejected. But something that AEW definitely will be doing is showing up on Impact more, as on last night's episode, Matt Hardy made his return to the promotion alongside Private Party, who knocked off the team of Chris Sabin and James Storm to become #1 contenders to the Impact Tag Team Championships, currently held by Gallows and Anderson. Tony Khan also appeared in person on the show alongside Jerry Lynn, and Omega has teased that he'll be back on Impact soon. Meanwhile, on AEW though, Renee Paquette has revealed in an interview with Chris Van Vliet that she is open to working with AEW in the future if the right opportunity arises, saying, "You look at AEW and I think everything they're doing is fantastic. I'm not saying I wouldn't do something there, I for sure would if the right thing came up, but it's not the thing I'm chasing down." Renee Paquette to AEW confirmed. Meanwhile, her husband Jon Moxley has been revealed to not only be a poet in the ring, he's also an author outside it, as he is currently writing a book. Tony Khan revealed the news, not Renee, on Renee's podcast. Makes perfect sense. Before we end the news today, you may have seen already, but if you haven't, our board game channel has had a name change. What was once Phenomenerds is now No Rolls Bard, which is much better. Not to be confused with the wrestling role-playing series on Parts of Unknown, which has been renamed CBW. The excellent content is still the same, so make sure to check it out by following the link in the description or by pressing the button to my right. And you can check out Adam Blompier's top 10 board games of all time by pressing the video to the right and the video below that to check out how a top wrestler has been revealed to have been fired and shot on their previous company. Don't forget to subscribe here for more wrestling news videos and reviews. I've been Corporate Chopper. Jam that jam.